And welcome back to the Cisco TV studio, coming at you live from the world of solutions here in Barcelona at Cisco Live 2018, another fantastic innovation showcase. For those of you who are just tuning in for the first time right now to our broadcast, either through Cisco.com or Cisco.com EMEA, we want to welcome you all back. We're glad to have you with us. This is ongoing coverage. We kicked off first thing this morning, as we do each and every day. We roll all the way through to the end of the day. So much content. I want to remind you, stay connected to us, please, on social media using hashtag CLEUR, hashtag CLEUR, Cisco Live Europe. There it is up there on the monitor. I promise if you talk to us, we will talk back to you via Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, whatever you like to use, that is great. Here at the end of the day in our wrap-up show, we are going to feature some of your tweets, some of your Facebook posts and photos. Please stay connected to us. We love to hear from you. Let's keep them going as much as we can. The crowds out here on the concourse are still phenomenal. Everybody is moving around. That innovation showcase. I just want to comment very briefly. Joe Cosolino, he's our Senior VP at Cisco Services. I had a chance to talk with Joe in a little sit down, Joe and Santiago and I yesterday morning before we went into the keynote. Great guy, and we were talking about a lot of the great new capabilities, a lot of what we're driving toward as an industry, and Joe really helped to set the theme for the entire conference as we rolled into Rowan's opening keynote. Right now though, emerging technologies, they are game changers for technology services. Today's businesses, they really rely on these complex emerging technologies that really help to power digital transformation, every single aspect of their operations, from the supply chain to manufacturing to business operations, customer service. Joe is telling us 65% of IT executives believe automation is the driving force behind their transformation initiatives. So exciting. He gave us the results of Cisco's European survey of IT and business executives. He looked at the priorities, the obstacles that we are facing in IT departments at different organizations as they embrace digital business transformation. Very exciting. Our own Lauren Malhoit had a chance to sit down with Joe Cozzolino, and we should check out that VT right now. Very exciting stuff. Let's take a look.
Hi everyone, I'm here with Joe Cozzolino and Dave Malek. We're going to be talking about the ever important services. There was actually a huge services launch back in October. Lots of information to go over, some really cool stuff. Also want to call out Dave Malek for being the first Cisco Services Fellow. So with that, I'm actually going to pass it along to Joe. He's going to make my job easier for me.
Thanks very much. Well, hey, Dave. We have some time together here. I've got a few questions for you. And you and I have been working together on automation, orchestration, how it affects our customers, and getting some great results. But let me just first ask you the first question. Why is automation and orchestration so important as a strategic initiative?
Yeah, as our customers are going through their transformation journey across the digital era, one of the areas that they're really focusing on is speed. And sometimes actually speed becomes more important than cost. Right. And the other one is dramatically reducing OpEx as they go through that journey, more importantly. And third, as they're working through their multi-cloud journey as well, private and public or hybrid, policy, control, and governance become extremely important. And the only way to really do that pervasively is to automate and be able to orchestrate across very diverse subsystems.
Right. And maybe you can talk a little bit before we get off this question. Everybody thinks about automation as just the network. It goes beyond that, doesn't it?
Absolutely. If we look at the entire stack, and that's what our customers are saying when they're running business applications and transactions. So we have to automate the workflow, which I think is very important, because the workflow consists of infrastructure all the way to the app layer.
Right. And
getting full visibility end-to-end, which is critical as they look at the competitive marketplace.
Which then brings in security, and then it brings in even our collaboration portfolio.
Absolutely.
So, perfect. Hey, next question. How do you see the role of machine learning impacting the way networks are being built and operated today?
For one thing, Joe, I believe the network data is now becoming a big data problem. And more folks are now starting to realize that big data is not just your basic Hadoop clusters that used to run for analytics. Now for network data, we need big data analytics platforms as well.
Right.
And as telemetry and real-time data is coming from applications and networks, to generate those forensics and correlate those millions of flows and data points, it's impossible for humans to do it. And the key area that our customers are really looking at for ML is for security. As our threat actors are getting more and more intelligent, and the attack surface is constantly moving and very dynamic, you need to have ML to do all the correlation and to drive those actionable insights that we can actually drive results.
That's a great point. We always talk about the data lake.
Yes.
When it comes to this, it's more like a data ocean.
Absolutely.
And you've got to have.
And you can drown in the ocean sometimes.
Right. Right. Get lost really quickly.
Absolutely.
It's a great point. Hey, last question I wanted to ask for the audience. Can you give me an example of a customer that you've worked with that you're proud of in terms of the results?
There's quite a few data points, but one that stands out is, you always start small, and then you expand much larger. And one client we've been working with for about a year now is to really drive some large campus refresh programs and core migrations backbone. And as we saw the migrations happen through automation, through compliance, operating system upgrades, zero-touch provisioning, and the common basic use cases, we saw 60 to 70% of labor reduction, where those resources were shifted to higher value programs in the firm.
Right.
But more importantly, OpEx reduction was north of 30 to 40%. And now, as the conversation becomes much further along in the transformation journey, the aperture has opened up to look at security now, which is what I pointed earlier, collaboration and branch, and you have to really look at it from a very strong, cohesive approach as you do multi-domain orchestration to really drive results from a firm-wide perspective.
So if I recap what you just said, it went from one area of their network where we did a proof of concept to now we're looking at campus branch, core, data center, security,
absolutely,
and collaboration.
Absolutely.
And then northbound to the OSS and southbound through the apps as well.
Absolutely. Third-party systems is critical because we do understand our clients have BMC, ServiceNow, the household names, ticketing systems, compliance and risk systems. So the key is not just a product itself, but looking at the entire system, but more importantly, looking at the business workflow from end to end, which is critical. Not only we want to automate the technology piece, we need to automate the business process workflow as well, because that is what's really going to drive the best bang.
And that business process change management and getting that right is critical.
It's critical in this digital era, and there are several use cases that we've seen where it has been dramatically successful, and I'm a big fan of rinsing and repeating. So we're leveraging those insights with our clients in future engagements and prospects, which is helping us scale.
That's great. I mean, if I summarized it, it's a win-win-win, right? It's a win for Cisco because it drives refresh of what is an aging infrastructure. It's a win for the customer because they reduce costs and they increase speed, and for the IT customer, but it's a win for the businesses that they serve because it increases speed.
Absolutely, and just one point to drive home is I call the trifecta.
Yeah.
So it's automation, analytics, and assurance, because you have to know what you intended to do is actually happening at the right service levels and security policies. So I think those 3 A's are very critical as we take our customers down the broader transformation journey.
It's awesome. Well, Dave, thank you very much. I know how much time you've put into the effort of getting us as Cisco up to this point where we can take on the lead for large customers like the ones you're working with. So
absolutely,
thank you so much.
Thank you.
Great. Gentlemen, thank you so much, Joe, Dave. That was fantastic. The important message, we're helping our customers evolve, right? I think that's great.
Absolutely.
Everyone, thank you so much for watching, and thanks to Joe and Dave.
All right, welcome back to the TV studio. We want to give a big shout out of thanks to Joe Casalino, to Dave Malik, and to Lauren Malhoit. Great information. So what did we talk about? We talked about why it is so vital as the attack surface continues to expand and grow that we focus on things like core migration through automation, compliance, zero-touch provisioning. They talked a little bit about this reduction in resources required by making those kinds of jumps forward, how important that transformation journey is to success. In some cases, I think Dave cited one particular customer who they were very proud of them. They saw a 60 to 70% reduction in the quantity of resources required to get the job done. That is exactly what these types of digital transformations can mean to all of us here in the industry. We talk about how much of this is hype, how much of this is just conversation, how much of it is happening happening in the Twitter background. No, this is real, and the proof is right here at the show. As people continue to wander around the conference, through the hub, through the world of solutions, they're having very real conversations about putting these technologies and these capabilities into hard action. And the metrics are here. The numbers are on the show floor, so if you're with us in Barcelona, or even if you're tuning in, ask the questions. Go up, make a contact, say, all right, tell me how it's actually working, show me the numbers. That is what we are here to do, and we've been having a lot of great interviews here on the set and walking around the show floor that go to just that. Yesterday we had a really nice Facebook Live session with Sachin Gupta. One of the questions that came in the door is this real? Or is it just something to make us sound like we're pushing the boundaries, like we're really, really cool? And Sachin assured us, no, this is in fact real, and we are seeing results, positive results out there every single day. So once again, our thanks, great video. We've got a couple more coming up here in the next couple of minutes. What we're going to do for now is shift gears a little bit. I want to talk about corporate responsibility here at Cisco, and we're going to do this in a variety of ways. First of all, there is something great that we're going to get to in just a couple of minutes. Straight down behind me over here in the hub, you can sort of see it in the background, called Rise Against Hunger. I will talk about that in a moment. We've actually got some great content and footage to show you, but I want to talk about how Cisco is empowering social change agents using technology, using expertise. We've got experts here at the show floor, and again, for those of you who are tuning in to the remote broadcast, when you get here to the show, you can take place, all right? We're going to come back, we're going to talk a bit more about Rise Against Hunger in just a moment. First, we're going to take a very short break. Don't go away, we'll be back in just a moment.
Think what it would be like if a network could configure millions of connections, not in months or even days, but in minutes. Think if it could protect based on what it knew, what it had learned from every attack. If it saw threats, even the ones hiding in encrypted traffic, before they happened. A network that over time can actually adapt itself because it knows what you're trying to do. That's the network for this new era. Right now, millions of new gadgets, devices, and things are connecting to the internet every day. More devices now than there are people. Think about that. Think about all that data, all that knowledge, fat, rich, thick intelligence, just waiting to be mined, extracted, analyzed, and used at speed. That's the network for this new era.